Here, everyone relax, yeah? Everyone relaxed?
Yes.
Hang on, have we even introduced the podcast?
No.
Right.
Come on.
No, right, Steve Evans. This is so nice, he's so lovely. Have a listen to my friend, Steve Evans. Steve invited us to his home in Wolverhampton to talk about the realities of living with terminal stomach cancer. Steve used to work for the council. He's also a part-time magician and a comedian. I spoke to him in April, so before we went to his house, spoke to him on the phone. That's where the ideas to go and see him in person came from. So when I spoke to him in April, he told me how his treatment was going, and that day he told me about a goal he had.
The Prof and I are aiming, because I'm a magician, and the Prof and I are aiming for me to get to Buxton in Derbyshire, where the International Brotherhood of Magicians meets for its annual convention.
Okay.
And I compare their large stage competition. And that is our goal. That is what we're working to.
And when is that?
And that's the 4th to the 8th of September. So that is our goal period. And
your goal is to live till the 8th of September to host that event?
If you put it that way, yes. If you put it that way, because when I get there, I want to live a lot longer. So I won't really go, I'm okay now, I'm ready to go. That's not how it works. Although you do have those moments. You do feel that you've achieved things.
So that was Steve in April, and that was his goal, to live long enough, as I perhaps inelegantly put it, but to live long enough to be able to be up on stage to compare the annual convention of the British Ring of the International Brotherhood of Magicians. The event took place in Buxton, in Derbyshire, at the end of last week, and we were with Steve for his big night.
Well, my name's Steve Evans, and we are in the Opera House, Buxton. As a retired man from the council, there is nothing better when you're a performer to have your own dressing room. And I'm in dressing room 1 as I'm comparing tonight's big feature event at the convention, which is called the Shield competition. It's a Victorian theatre, it's a Frank Matcham theatre, it's an opera house, and it is beautiful. It is steeped in history, and we're all very excited about being here, about being able to be here. It's been an arduous journey, shall we say. 12 months ago, I told my oncology specialists, purely as a joke, that I needed to stay alive for 12 months because on the 5th of September 2013, I needed to be in Buxton to compare a stage magic competition. And rather than them smile politely and move on, they said, "What was that date again?"
It gives me the greatest pleasure to introduce you to tonight's compeer. It's the man from the council, Steve Evans.
Thanks for coming, and may I say, letting me on this stage with a microphone is definitely like giving a kid matches. Buxton, a landlocked convention venue that's still closer to the sea than the theatre complex in Southport. We were going there for years, never saw it once. Never once did I unpack that bucket and span. A seaside with a beach big enough to have an air show on it. Not at all.
In true national health sort of, as they have been all the way through my journey, they have worked tirelessly to keep me here. And if they value me that much, it's very humbling, you know. And you have to sort of be the best you can possibly be. So we're here. We're as fit as we can be. We've had to have blood transfusions, scans, and all sorts of things. And yesterday my health wasn't the best. The day before, my health was probably a little bit worse. We've been here for 2 days. And, well, people can make their own minds up. Today I woke up and feel fine.
Buxton, of course, is a spa town. So when Septina, my wife, and I arrived on Tuesday, I said, I'm going exploring. I'm off to find a spa. She said, brilliant. If you find it, can you bring me back a bottle of milk? I don't think she got it, to be honest. Last year, of course, we all gathered in Great Yarmouth once we'd worked out how to get there. Wasn't it a long way? All week people were turning up early for events because they'd put their watches forward.
We've finished our second line of treatment. We're in what is called remission, but people need to know, of course, that my condition carries with it a price, and the treatment, although the best it can be, is corrosive. So I currently have issues with blood, which are being managed, and bone marrow, which are being managed, and problems with eating, which are being looked into currently. So we're working on ways of dealing with that. But yes, it's a hard job at the moment, keeping this body going. But I'm really blessed, as I always say. They're not new words.
All year friends were saying to me, Yarmouth, you don't want to go there, which was disappointing because they live there. And then we got there, of course, and it was lovely. It suited me fine because it's got the one thing that the beautiful Buxton doesn't have, and that is shops that sell tat. Here, all they seem to have is estate agents that sell houses you'd need to sell Wolverhampton to buy.
Well, it's down to the audience, but I think it's going very well. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm feeling strong, which is important. And I have my friends with me. I have Richard and Tim and Mandy, who are here, who are my support team, making sure I'm sort of looked after and what have you. That noise you can hear in the background is a fan, so I am very high maintenance, but it's going great. I'm enjoying every second.
And then, with a click of his wizardy fingers, their words, not mine, they were all different lengths again. A true miracle performed right between their eyes, whilst the magicians all around them simply nodded off. For tonight, that's all from me. My name's Steve Evans, unless you're from Wolverhampton Tax Office, then it's Elizabeth Kent. Good night, and God bless.
Steve, good afternoon.
I've just been making myself laugh.
You see, I think that's a sign of a good joke, that you already know it, and then you hear yourself say it, and you still laugh. You see, it sounded to me like you stormed it.
Yes, they were very kind, Richard. They were very kind, but yes, it went well. It went very well. It was a wonderful week, and that competition and the comparing of it in the company of friends was incredibly memorable. It was wonderful.
You enjoyed, as you said there, every second of it.
Indeed. It was my version of Christmas Day, a 10-year-old unwrapping a sack full of presents. It was just joyous. That's really good. Was.
Oh, we only heard a fraction of it there, but that was a good, solid bit of stand-up. It's a good time. Yeah. Were you nervous about how it would play?
Well, there's two very quick things. Firstly, because it's an audience of magicians that are all dear friends, you perform that material for them just once. So it's all written for them. It's not generic stand-up material, and I shall never perform it again because it was purely for that event. Yeah. And I find it's not nerves. It's the weight of expectation, because everyone wants you to do well. You want to do well for them. So the only feeling you get is that, a little bit apprehensive before you go on.
And were they aware of the significance to you of that event, of being there, comparing that event, that is a very specific goal that you would set yourself?
90% of them, yes, because they're on the journey with me as well, being in the same brotherhood of magicians, and that's what it is. The friendships are very close, even though they're at a distance, because they're people that one typically just meets once a year.
Yeah. Tell me, where are you today, Steve?
Yes. Well, being as you asked, I'm in New Cross Hospital. My blood failed 2 days after the Shield competition. How about that for timing? So my HB level has dropped, and this isn't meant to be boastful, but it's 5.2. Septina is pointing out to me, who's sitting next to me. And 5.2, as people will probably text, tweet, she's just in the mime of someone collapsing. So I think that says it all. Yes, 5.2 is very low, but I'm in great hands as always. So they've given me permission to speak to you from the ward, and I'm being transfused again as I speak to you.
You're being transfused as you speak to me. So that means, just so I understand, when you say that the blood count is low at 5.2, it's not something that I know much about, but that takes away your energy, does it?
Yes, everything. All I can do is lie down.
Okay.
So from Thursday was hard because it was starting to go on Thursday, but the adrenaline worked. And then Friday it started to kick in. I found walking difficult. Saturday, I had a smaller show to do in front of dear friends, and it was important that I did. So I did that seated. And then that was my last show. So I slept for the rest of Saturday. On Sunday, we came home and I slept. Today's Monday. I'm in hospital now. And they will keep me in overnight because it's the nature of my palliative journey. It just so happens I have another magic event tomorrow at the Civic Hall. This is called the Kidology event, which is a one-day convention for children's entertainment. And I won't be able to play a big part, but they're going to transfuse me overnight with 4 units of blood. That will hopefully, as long as my doctors give me permission, and that enable me to go out just for a couple of hours to go to the event, and I'll then come back into hospital in my care.
Okay, good. Well, I hope that works out. So you have, so that as we speak right now, to you in your hospital, in your room at the hospital, this transfusion is happening, is it?
Yes. I mean, if I could, I will tweet a photograph on my now famous tweet. Yes, I have 2 cannulas going in just in case it doesn't go quick enough through one, I think. So, yes, I'm hooked up to a drip and there's blood coming through it. Yes, that's what's happening. That's what's
happening. Remind us of your Twitter address, Steve Evans.
It is Steve Evans 51.
Steve, so it's at Steve Evans 51.
It certainly is.
If you're a fan of seeing a photo of a man having a blood transfusion, then your luck is in.
well, you'll get a picture of a hand.
Okay.
I think I'll make it artistic. A picture of a hand that's got a plaster on it, that's got 2 teddy bears on. I've never quite been able to work out the teddy bears. The other patients don't seem to have them. They just seem to give them to me.
It sounds a little bit like they've run out of adults' plasters and given you a children's plaster.
You couldn't possibly have heard what Septina just said, but that's exactly what she said.
Did she?
You get treated like a child. She said.
Septina is your wife, of course. Do say hello from me.
I will do.
You know we loved coming to your house, and we broadcast from your backyard that day. Just tell us, because we had that conversation in April. I think it was May when we came to your house. And
it was, May, yeah.
And you'd set this target of comparing that event in Buxton, and you made it and you did it. What does it mean to you?
It means everything. You can't put it into words, my friend. All of this journey is about other people. The amount of people that have worked so hard to get me to Buxton, the amount of people that wanted Buxton to happen for me, and the amount of people, dear friends, who were at Buxton to share the experience with me. It's what the journey is all about. I've said to you many times, both on and off air, that really lots of people are terminally ill. Many people have worse journeys than me, my friend. Many, many, many people have worse journeys than us. But how many people have a journey or are blessed to have a journey that contains so much love? Because it is so special. And a year we've spent, haven't we? We've spent a year preparing to be in that place, Buxton, which is quite beautiful, by the way. Joking aside, it is the most beautiful of places. And I would, it's not a plug for Buxton, but for our listener, Please go there. You won't be disappointed. It is beautiful. And to be there in those surroundings, the weather was perfect. All the people were there. The gig was perfect. And my health, my blood, and there's no logic, rhyme or reason that my blood held out just long enough for me to do the event. It was just everything came together. And, you know, a lot of words, I'm afraid, Richard, but that's what it meant. And it simply meant everything.
And it sounds as to me, listening to you, that making it to that event, which was, as you've explained, the International Brotherhood of Magicians, of which you're a part. Yes, you're very much a community. So it seems to me that it was, whilst you wanted to compare it, and whilst you wanted to get on stage and make those jokes, it seems to me that it was as much about being with your friends as anything else.
It was, Richard. It was everything about being with those people. Every one of them was on stage with me, and every one of them was part of it. I have a mentor. You know, timing is everything, and I have a number of mentors in magic and performance. And one of my mentors is a bit of a hidden person. His name is Max Blake, and he's from Stoke. And he isn't the sort of person you could just Google and find. But there he is, and he's been with me for 20 years. And after each event, each gig that he sees me do, this is his phrase, just a few notes. And then he rips apart what I think was a perfectly good gig. And on Thursday night, he said this. He just came up to me and he said, no notes, perfect.
Great.
And I don't think I can say any more than that.
Steve, do you have a new goal? Have you set a new target?
Yeah, of course. Because this is what we said first off, isn't it? That you have targets, but when you get there, you reassess it. But we are poorly now, my friend. Our conversations have been many, and they've been really lovely to have. And hopefully they'll continue. They will continue long into the distance.
Well, I hope so, because they are every bit as lovely for me and for all of us here who work on this programme who've got to know you.
But the point, to answer your question, the answer is yes. Another magic convention with my dear friends at the Blackpool Magicians Club, which is the world's largest magic convention, and that is in February next year. It doesn't seem a long way, but for us, with the issue we have with the blood, my blood is depleting very quickly. So Prof has got to work out why, and then he's got to stop it. So again, we've got a lot of people working for us, and there's always positive in our conversations because that's where they live. But I think it's only fair now that the listeners who have been on this journey with us sort of get, shall we say, a little bit of the other side of it as well. Mm-hmm. Because many people have journeys, and it would be wrong for me to only keep hitting the positive as if my journey was just full of joy and happiness, which it is, but there's an awful lot of work necessary to keep me here. So, you know, it's perhaps worthy just a mention of that.
And so you used that phrase at the beginning of that answer where you said, you know, we are poorly. And that is, I think, in reference to your blood and the fact that it's now depleted. Is that, listening to you, that it sounds like, and I'm coming back to being positive because I want to be positive, that it sounds like with work, this is a problem that potentially you can get past that can be resolved.
Absolutely, yes. Oh, remember, because there will be people listening to this, listening to us chatting for the first time, pal. I've got the best. That's not my opinion. That's Google's opinion. So, you know, can't argue with Google. Can't argue with Google. And me wife's subpoena. So the prof, the man, the Professor David Berry, the man from Narnia, there isn't anyone better. And if anyone's going to make me better and get me through this, it'll be him. And if anyone's going to get me to Blackpool, it'll be him. He's got all of the tricks in his bag. He's got all of the ideas. I texted him first thing this morning, so he knew exactly what was happening. And although he isn't here in person, he will have spoken to the clinicians who are looking after me, and everyone will be singing from the same hymn sheet, and everyone will have a plan.
Right. I guess when you said it's important that we talk a little bit about the other side. I guess you do have some very difficult moments, and I know that you don't go through this alone, and that you have family with you at all times, and friends, many of whom we have met. But Steve, I guess there must be some very difficult moments.
Well, there are, mate. Yes, there are. But you have them as well, and you are on this journey as well. I mean, I know you're a professional broadcast journalist, but you're also. I mean, I hope this doesn't bring your street cred down, but you're also my mate.
Yeah, I am.
So, you know how it feels now. It is a burden to cancer is just appalling. And having a life-limited journey is appalling. Do you imagine having that journey by yourself? I just wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. So, yes, there are darker times. And everyone that experiences these journeys has horrendous times, but I've always said to you, man, that you meet some fabulous people. And, it goes back to one of the first things that you and I ever spoke about, the fact that you see a room, a day case room in a cancer ward, and you see all those people that have obviously got the condition, and you must never consider those people be simply a box of broken toys, because within the world of cancer, there are some amazing people. And it releases a version of yourself that you simply didn't know existed. And you must always be mindful of that, and the importance of being able to be close to someone who has got the condition, because it is the people around those with these conditions that are really important. Because it is the same message I always give, mate. Without you, I wouldn't be here. It's simple as that.
Well, I myself now feel like somebody who is close to somebody who has that condition. These are some of the texts that have been coming in. We always get so many texts when you're on. Isabel says, wow, amazing man, humbling to listen. Terry, nearby in Birmingham, writes, just one listener among many that hopes Steve makes it to Blackpool in February. And another text, again, similar to all those that are coming in. Richard, please tell Steve that he is a star. I love his attitude.
Blackpool in February, Richard. 2 years ago, Blackpool in February. It's around some year. 2 years ago, it was that cold. Walking along the seafront, a polar bear had it away with me hat and scarf. It didn't really happen, Richard. It was just a joke. I shoehorned it in. You see what I did there?
No, it was good.
I shoehorned it in.
It was good. I knew it was a joke. That was why I laughed. A natural, involuntary laugh. Listen, thank you so much, Steve. It's great to speak to you. We shall leave you to it. I know you're having the transfusion. Good luck. It's tomorrow, isn't it? When you want to go to the is it the Children's Magic event?
Yes, that's Kidology, and it's at the Civic Halls in Wolverhampton. The Civic Halls is my spiritual home, as you know. It's the place I love to be. But my health has to come first, because it would be very wrong for me to put my clinicians under pressure. But they do work. We do work as a team. We are all part of the same team. And if my doctor says I'm able to go, I will go for as long as he says I can. And it will be a lovely thing.
And how's Septina?
Well, as I always say on the outside, she's fine. It is difficult. We joked early on, didn't we, about that for years people have said, how do you put up with him? And the only reason we're together is because she gets my care allowance off the council. We've said that many times. But now, of course, she does get my care allowance off the council. And a conversation with her at some point, but perhaps not, she doesn't do the radio thing, but a conversation with Septina as what it's like to be a carer. Because it can't be easy, can it?
No, it can't.
And it can't be easy to be a carer who's this close to the person. I mean, remember, I'm 52, and we've been together since I was 16. Every day. That's all we've ever known. So, but our journey isn't unique. It is very typical. And as I said, we're blessed to have one another, really lucky to have one another. And if I didn't have her, if I didn't have Seppi, I don't know. I don't know what would happen, really.
Imagine that, spending all day, every day with you for 36 years.
Well, I'll give you that one, though. I haven't done the math.
Listen, Steve, thank you so much. We're going to speak soon. We're going to keep talking and we're going to speak soon. All the best, my friend.
Yeah, God bless.
Well, that's it for our friend Steve Evans. What else is on here? I don't know.
Should we put Nicky from the Manic Street
We're going to
Preachers
talk a
in?
lot more
Bit of
to
Nicky.
Steve.